like a circle that floats.
Hey everybody, Jyotsna here, and my students like to call me Coach Joe. I'm super duper excited because I have this wonderful young person, Sanjith, who's written this book, Founder's Secret, and it's a fairly interesting book, and I'm so happy to have him here. And not only did Sanjit write a book, he's like super brainy and loves to dig deep into topics. And he also wrote a research paper under Dr. Raj and me during the fall season, and his research topic was correlation of cancer and Alzheimer's through biochemical pathways. But first, I want to introduce Sanjith. So, Sanjith, welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sanjith Muthukumaran. I'm in 11th grade, 17 years old, junior, just living out my high school life right now, and in the prime right now.
Amazing, amazing. I sort of read your book, and I found some really hard words, and it's like super creative, and the direction that you've gone into. You speak something about Gregor Nissan root. I mean, it's like I found some pretty interesting words in it, and so I just wanted to ask you, like, where did the inspiration come to write a book like this?
The inspiration for the book, there's not like a single inspiration. It's not something like, oh, I got inspired by this one thing. It was inspired just because of my love of reading, and it just came because I read a lot of books when I was a kid, and then so I decided to write my own book, and I just came up with it along the way.
Fantastic. Who's been your favorite author, if I may ask?
I like Rick Rider, and I still read a series, even though I feel like I'm too old to. I still catch up.
Very nice, very nice. So tell me about the process or the journey for writing. I know it's long and arduous.
Yeah, it is really long and arduous, and just like this book's journey, and like this is kind of like the first time writing a book, so it did take a long time. And the book's journey kind of started off like it started from an idea that I just got from just writing books by myself. Like I didn't write like a full-fledged book or anything. It was like the standard, just take a blank piece of white paper, a bunch of them, and then just fold them, staple, and then you have a book, and then just writing on it. And just like one time I was just writing something and I got like the idea of the story, and so I wrote it on that page. And then my parents encouraged me saying, oh, you can turn this into a full-fledged book. And I was like, oh, wow. And so I decided to try. And so I took a Google Doc, and then I wrote the first like chapter 1 of it. And I'm actually really impressed of my own writing. I have some people already read the book, and they complimented me on the vocabulary and the flow. And that's pretty surprising to hear, because I started it in freshman year, and I thought my writing now was pretty bad, and I was a little worried, but I still kept on going, and I was able to finish it. But then everything just kind of went down because of COVID and all, and it was just really hard to find editing and a good place to edit and publish the book, and we were struggling. But then I came to the Door to Success, and I met Mrs. Ritu, and she helped publish my book and edit it in the final courses. I mean, the worst part was editing. I don't know why. It's just I completely enjoyed this writing the story. I think that was my best part, and I didn't really like editing. I'm not a big fan on like grammar, because my own grammar kind of stinks. But editing was just the worst part. I just couldn't bring myself up to it, and also if I tried to edit, I feel like I just completely destroy my own story. And just like I remember in the editing process, like Miss Ritu was just telling me that we need to get rid of some pages, and I was really sad by that because like a lot of that work is just gone and it'd never be in the final product. But you have to do what you have to do to publish it, and then now we're here now.
Yeah, it's so interesting and amazing to hear your experience and your journey. I'm learning so much from you, Sanjith, and you don't fail to surprise me at all. That you use this spark, this talent to write this beautiful book about. Okay, so that was your writing process. Now, tell me more about the characters in this book. I'm very curious as to the genre that you picked. And yeah, tell us about the inspiration and the journey behind the founder's secret.
Well, the Founder's Secrets, the main idea of it is basically about a semi-normal kid named Matthew, but he's not really normal. He's from an influential family, he's rich, and all he ever wants to be is just normal. But then the world doesn't allow him to be like that. The world tells him that he's destined for greatness, and suddenly he just goes and finds trouble, and then he goes on this huge quest of where he's he's the main part of it all, and like the entire world is basically doomed if he doesn't go on the quest to find the 18 diamonds and stop the world from falling to darkness from Mercurius, the Dark Lord. And the entire story is just his personal development and just finding the balance between the normal and the abnormal. And then, well, for the inspiration for that, I got a lot of. It is very Harry Potter, Marvel, like like all the fictional stuff kind of influenced. But there's no copyright in that. I swear. Uh,
I get that. Yeah. Do you see? I mean, I see your face light up. You're completely a different person when it comes to speaking about your book. It shows your passion and your talent. So, is it right to say that you're living through Matthew vicariously? Is it like Sanjit would like to live a life of Matthew, or how is that?
I would say that I'm normal, but like I feel like I could. I just want to be. I just want to be kind of extraordinary, not like that kind of extraordinary, but like I strive to be the better of myself, and so I feel I kind of opposite to him. But I do feel like sometimes that I do feel kind of like extraordinary because like everyone tells me that I am, and just like I have to live up to expectations. So yeah, maybe to somewhat I am kind of like a Matthew myself.
That's like so amazing. And what sort of impressed me is you went through this journey and you completed it. I mean, you bit the hardest bullet, which you yourself said was editing, and it was really hard for you to see your story being chopped off, if that's correct, right?
Yes.
It was like a butcher knife came and like just chopped off chunks of your story, right? And your heart bled, but you persevered, you didn't give up, and you have a finished product, right? So that in my books is a huge achievement, right? Even adults go through a lot of procrastination. They abandon, they start off very strong. Initially the vanity is there and then it wears off, right? So did you ever encounter a moment where you just wanted to give up on your story, or it was a lull? Did you ever encounter a writer's block, so to speak?
I actually never encountered a writer's block, so I feel pretty good about not encountering something like that. I love to write the story. That was my favorite part. I would continuously write it, and I just find every excuse to write it, and I never stopped running out of ideas, and I never stopped like to procrastinate about it. That was obviously my favorite part. But for editing, no, I didn't really get a writer's block. The only problem was like finding a good editor. So I was still pretty motivated to motivate throughout the entire book, which I'm pretty surprised that I was able to just continue on and you know just complete the book.
That's nice. That's wonderful. Would it be right to say that writing is your way of expressing to the world a side of Sanjith?
Maybe I'm not sure. I haven't thought of myself as a author or like a career in the authoring. I thought of this book as like pure fun, just writing something because I just love to be creative, and I've always just seen myself as being the creative person. And reading books and seeing them did this always inspire me. Like all my favorite authors, to like J.K. Rowling, to like Rick Riordan, to all those authors. Like I just like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I want to write a book too, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to see how that went.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I also wanted to ask you, what would you give as an advice to aspiring writers? I mean, what is your advice to them?
Um, my advice to aspiring writers. Um, I never thought I'd be in the position to give advice. I'm not a professional, but um, it's the cheesy stuff of never give up and just persevere. Uh, it's I don't know. I feel like it came easy for me because I really liked to write, but like I'd say just you don't have to be creative to be a writer. You don't have to come up with just random out of the ordinary things to just be a writer. You just need to be observant, and you also need to look and just express yourself and just use like material. It doesn't matter if like say you get inspired by something and you want to copy that, but just don't copy that to the closest detail. Just be inspired and just work on your material and just keep on writing. Yeah, it's pretty tough if you're like a high school writer like me to find time to write, but you'll find time if you want to write because there's a will. If there's a will, there's a way. And also, the editing is the hardest part, and and there will be a lot of people that like will try to help you in editing, but like you need to find the right run, and you need to find the right path of editing and publishing to get to that final destination. And trust me, the final destination feels really good, and it's the greatest thing to tell someone that you're reading a book because everyone's reaction is always, wow, that's a really rare accomplishment.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, your honesty is endearing and it's a beautiful piece of advice. I mean, you didn't sugarcoat or say, "Oh yeah, do this, do that." You were brutally honest, and that's very nice. And another question that I have is, you were in my research program and you did have school deliverables. You have a lot going on. You are a junior. How the hell did you get a book published? I mean, I'm surprised. I'm baffled. So, how did you balance it all?
Um, Actually, I was still in the finding the process of editing, so there was a little time, and I wasn't working on the book around the time of that research. It was only during like November or winter break, actually. Like was able to start working on editing because I met Miss Ritu, and Miss Ritu was just the best thing that ever happened to me. And but for the research, um, I wasn't the best time management, and I wasn't the best balancer, but I got it done. I might have procrastinated a bit, and I might have not done the work at times, but I did work on it as much as I could. Even if it was just like 1 hour or 30 minutes a day, I was still able to finish and just give out the final product of the research. and I'm still learning about balancing things and balancing life. And I've realized to just take everything in small increments and just do everything now because there's no tomorrow. I think that's the best thing you could ever do, because if you put off everything, you just procrastinate.
Wonderful. It's amazing. Okay, so I hear that you are donating all your proceeds of the book. So you want to speak more about your nonprofit, your charitable effort. Yeah, that's something amazing. Is that you're giving away all the proceeds to a nonprofit? So you want to share more details about it?
Oh, yeah, of course. Um, so the nonprofit that I'm donating all the proceeds to, all the royalties, is 𝐴COM. 𝐴COM doesn't stand for anything. It's it's just it's an organization that helps out impoverished mothers and children in India. It's
Amazing.
based in India, and it's a noble cause to just go and help out in just your home country, or at least try to, like in my way. I'm trying to raise funds to help out. So I feel like I'm still helping out in a way. And the fun where all the funds will go to is the Chengalpattu district district projects that they're doing in econ. Like they're gonna improve the medical care. They're gonna give free medical service to the children and mothers in Chengalpattu, and it's just a very noble cause of just helping out, because that's a very human thing to do. And I think that's probably the best way to give justice to um to just making the money and then just don't know where to go. You can put it in a fund like our noble cause like ecom. And I'm actually also part of ecom also. I'm a youth ambassador, and I've also been helping out as well. So I also feel obligated to donate.
That's so amazing. I wish we could sort of clone many Sanjits. Your drive, your creativity, your noble cause. It makes like a very wholesome package. And anybody who says like Gen Z is irresponsible or a long list of negativity, they need to see Sanjit. So a big round of applause for what you've been doing. Not only did you get your book done, which is a huge effort in my books. You did find a good mentor and editor in getting your book done, and you are donating all the money that you getting it, right? So that's amazing. So I have a stupid question to ask. Is it sort of the character of the book would have done it? Is that a reflection of the character of your book, Matthew?
I don't know if he would were to do it. He would do it. Obviously, he is seems like the hero. He seems like the hero type. He is the hero type. He is the hero of my book. So he would do it. Uh, I get, but it's not in the story, so I get he doesn't do it, but he'd probably do it.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a segue. Do you have anything else to add about your book before we move on to the research?
Um, for my book, I mean, you've answered all the great questions that people are probably asking about the book right now, and I think you've been a good host and been really able to bring about like just the main information of the book, and just like been a great example of how honestly amazing the book is. So I feel like you've given the book justice. Thank you so much for
Amazing, amazing. So let's go on to my second favorite topic. No, they're all favorite topics, which is research. Um, So you did correlation of cancer and Alzheimer's through biochemical pathways. That sounds quite a mouthful, right? It seems pretty hard. Um, Tell us more about your research, what inspired you, and about your research journey as well.
So my research, it's a topic that I don't think anyone has heard of, but everyone has heard the keywords of cancer and Alzheimer's. But no one has ever heard, no one has ever tried to connect the two together. Even though there's a pretty good connection between the two. And I don't know how I got the inspiration to, but I think it was from my own luck that I was able to stumble upon that article and be able to do research on a topic that is not very well known, or it's still going on and still like mysterious to us. Like it was one of the hardest topics to probably research because of how obscure it was, and there was only a few articles that I was actually able to reference and pull out for my own research paper. So it was very difficult, and that was mostly like the most of my research journey. So it's pretty hard to get the data and the information, but I was able to do it. And like I said before, like I may have procrastinated and I may have done insufficient work on the research paper sometimes because I had to focus on school. But at least I got it done, and I was able to work on it as much as possible and as much needed on the right time to be able to for it to be submitted. And I just have the final work right here in my hands, and it feels really good.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And the thing about research is it's a beginning. It's not an end, right? You like a curiosity was sparked in you about this specific subject, and you're going to continue with that. And we don't expect you to have the whole picture ready, right? So the whole intention of the research program was to spark an interest, and you delivered beyond that, right? You went and you picked a hard topic. You didn't pick something that was inherently easy, or you could find easy articles about it. You dug deep. You forced yourself to become a deep learner and equip yourself with the knowledge needed to write a paper, right? And this program is not designed to be easy or remotely, moderately easy. No, it's designed to push your limits, and you pretty much delivered, right? And do you intend on pursuing research in this specific area, or what are your future plans for this?
I'm planning on continuing the research because it's still unknown, and I can help in the research for that topic. I mean, because it's just a really important topic that we need right now. Alzheimer's and cancer are like the two most dangerous diseases at the moment right now, and they're both really horrible. And if we can actually work and pull this off, it could be a cure that just takes out two of the most nastiest diseases off the planet. And yes, I'm planning on on just looking for articles and like trying to find ways to actually help out in that work. Even though I'm only 17 and I'm pretty sure I can't handle all the lab equipment and all the more professional stuff, but I'll get there and maybe even be in the lab where I can actually do the real research behind this for this.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't specifically like to push students into sort of telling or picking a major, because I feel like it should be more exploratory, right? You're still learning, and it's not fair to get boxed into a specific major. I mostly don't recommend that, but I'm just tempted to ask you, what direction are you headed?
Mm, I'm heading more into neurology and psychology, but I'm not sure yet. And it's a perfectly fine thing because I'm not supposed to know. And to be honest, I think it's a good thing that I don't know, so I don't rush myself or don't find my true self. And I think that can wait until college. But right now, I feel more of the neurology and psychology kind of aspects because I'm fascinated by the brain, and I've just been inspired by just how complex the brain is and how like psychology works. Like it's really interesting what like drives us, learning what drives us, what just like makes us think what we think or do what we do on that moment. It's really an interesting topic.
Yeah. I mean, I was just looking at your paper where you go into like great depths of presenilin. I don't even know to say half the things you spoke about tergene, you spoke about P53. I mean, the depth to which you go into taking any effort shows the kind of person that you are. And you are way mature, you're way more knowledgeable than your 17-year-old, right? I feel like you've figured things out already, right? So if you're not going into neurology or researching on brains, you could definitely be a coach or or a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist because of the way you go about solving a problem, which is quite methodical, um, precision. It's got a great deal of precision, right? And you will most definitely pick up the discipline and the process that's needed in that. But in my opinion, you are a winner. You are living up to your maximum potential, whether it be research or writing a book. Like I feel like you have the right mixture of the right and the left brain. Your creativity, I don't know which is the right or the left, you have to correct me, and your logical reasoning aspect of it. Like it's a perfect admixture of creativity and logical reasoning, problem solving, right? So that is where I would sort of place you in. But what are your thoughts about it?
Um, I'm not sure if I could be a coach or so, because like I feel like I figured things out, but I'm still trying to implement them, and that's very difficult. And it's very difficult to implement it, but I'm trying. I'm still working, and I've kind of like always just kind of made up my mind that I wanted to do research. I want to be a researcher because I always thought that was cool. And when I was a kid, I kind of uh really liked just researching the world and just researching as much as possible. So there's that aspect of like logical thinking and just critical thinking. And then I also had my creative side where it was the book reading and that was the writing. So maybe so yeah, maybe I am both a right left brain. I'm not sure which one I'm more of, but I feel like I'm probably in between. Because I find it very difficult to place myself in between that.
No. It's a very good skill to have, being both logical and creative. It's very rare to find that skill in one person, right? So it's a gift. So Sanjit, you're truly gifted of having both the sides of it, right? Because this I find it quite rare that a person with a research, logical, um, theoretical, problem-solving mindset could write something so creatively, right? Or they could be, but I don't encounter them as much. Got it? Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
so I have one last question. Um, why is Gen Z so misjudged? Do you think it's misjudged, or do you think that they're not understood very well? what are the true struggles, or why is it that Gen Z is so misunderstood?
I think Gen Z is misunderstood because uh, we are seen as taking shortcuts, and we don't accept the hard work kind of aspect. We try to uh, like do like smart. We think like smartly to just do like smart work, not hard work. So like that's the reason why adults who believe in the hard work skill think that we're too lazy and that we won't do the hard work and put that in. I beg to differ, because I've seen like Gen Z. There are lots of us. A lot of us are athletes who put the hard work in, and you wouldn't believe how much they train and how much they actually dedicate to that sport. A lot of us are science Olympiad. A lot of us are in clubs, and we take pride in that, and we actually work. We do hard work, but I feel that we're not smarter than other generations. We're just more thinking more smartly, thinking more logically, trying to find shortcuts, just trying to make the world a better place through just like simple reasoning and not complicating things, like I feel like how adults are kind of doing. And I feel like I'm sure the world might be a little lazy, and it might procrastinate, but I feel like a lot of the Gen Z kind of thinking could help in the world.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. That's well said. Yep. Bravo, bravo. I'm superbly proud of everything you've done. And I want to thank you for taking this time and like showing us your world, your achievements. And I'm pretty sure this is just the beginning for Sanjith. There's a lot more that's going to come out, and I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of your journey, and I will be as well in the future. So all the very best, and I want your book to be the bestseller. And I hope you're able to donate as much money for your foundation, right? And I want you to find a cure for both the evils, cancer and Alzheimer's. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be contributing a lot towards it. So thank you, Sanjay.
You're like a circle